They've been flocking in here because this is the greatest field ever assembled, I reckon, in one place. 52 is Jim. 5-1-5, 10 points there. Francisco Bustamante, genius from the Philippines. Nicknamed Django. First round played 5-1-3. Others did better. Beat Tony Allen 9-1 though, and the echo of that rung around. Decided, and he's got the flu, as the lad.
Well, Jimmy happy to get a ball off the break, but he's got nothing. The yellow one wedged between the 2 and the 3. So he's got a choice now as we see his break. A little better control of the cue ball that time. But if anyone can sort out a safety, it's Rempe. Looks like he's going to try and play this full in the face, Sid, and leave the cue ball right up against the 3. The 2, you can see, is blocking the passage of the 1, but the 1's going to stay at that half. So if he can kill the white there, he should snooker him. Great shot. Great shot.
Well, remember, Bustamante, probably the best player in the world, off the rail to get out of snookers and occasionally to pot. Oh, but I thought even he is just on here for making contact.
Well, he's not made it. He's left Jim half a chance. A very fine clip on that 1. But he sure does have a lot of ability. He just sticks that cue behind his back and plays it like most people would be as comfortable playing it normally.
Yeah, he's not too good. He's got a touch of flu, but he's still going for work with a cue that the drum majorette would turn down.
Well, that makes this match a little bit more imperative for Bustamante. He can have a good night's sleep, and if you can scrape through this one, who's to say he won't be back on song for his next.
Takes a feather, take a lace. Double clunk rather than kiss that.
Well, that definitely wasn't planned.
If anybody kissed you like that, they think they were kidding.
Nothing for Bustamante, though. Just going to be looking to lay Jim in the tall grass. He could elect to try and just double that straight back up the table and follow through. I wonder if he isn't taking this on.
Well, watch the path from... No, you were right, Jim. I think safety in mind from where he left the white.
Yeah, but he hasn't done it, Sid. The way he played it, to me, looked a lot more difficult than just following through. But again, never want to second guess someone with his ability. He controls that cue ball so well. He's left Jim half a chance again.
Well, Fat Man said oil in the arm was the thing. Busty shaking his arm around, looks as though he's got rusty nails in his elbow. Was flexing his arm in a most awkward way. Jim playing this with right hand side and top to follow and to lay a pretty vicious... Well, he misweighted that. I think it passes bottom right.
I think it does as well. Don't know whether Francisco will take it on, though. He's got about 3/4 of that pocket. He'll have a look. He knows it goes. And snooker, you wouldn't even be thinking. He's looking at the billiard onto the 9 as well. He'll be trying the 1. The natural angle might take that cue ball into the 9. Two-way shot.
Well, this would be a shot to get them out there. See, it's an each way bet. So we see it, Jim, two-way. So watch the yellow and the striped yellow go either way.
That's a bit lax, that shot. Was asking a lot. In a sense, that tells me he doesn't have the respect for Rempe that He probably should have. We've seen a number of upsets here already. He doesn't want to be another one. The casualty list is growing. Some great players out. We already saw a former world champion taken off the center stage here, Oliver Ortman. Well, maybe he knew something we didn't.
Well, again, tell him we respect Jim. That seemed a risky shot to play.
Looked like he could have cut that in, Sid, didn't it?
I thought the cut was the better option. As it was by his standards, a very bad attempt at the double bank.
Well, the 1, the 2, and the 3 there. And you can see the pink 4 and the 9 on the left-hand cushion. So you know what Francisco will be looking at.
Got this very loose hold on the stick. I mean, it.
Now have a look at that loose wrist, Sid. That's what I was talking about. That's a one-finger grip. The thumb just guides it.
Absolutely, and the upward and down movement of the bit from his bridge to the Q-tip. I mean, it's the opposite of what he used to teach me when I was 14. Chin on the Q. Keep it straight.
Here we go. Here's the combination.
Here's the plant then, and it looks, dare one say it, a relatively easy one, even though the pink is snidged away from the rail. This for 3-2. Plant.
Great shot. That wasn't easy, but they're volleying frames back and forth. Bustamante holding the narrowest of margins at 3-2.
It's got a thin, very, very thin cut along top rail.
Two balls straight into the top corner pocket as we see it from our overhead perspective. And as you said, Sid, he's got a thin clip on the 1. The 3's hanging over the corner pocket. So he just needs to concentrate 100% on this pot.
Sort of shot that some people play with a snidge of right-hand side to produce left. Might have helped him there if he had.
Well, you can see once again, that's very uncharacteristic. Francisco, from an opportunity like that, he usually keeps his opponent in his chair for a prolonged period of time. It's not happening here.
Absolute attention to the detail of every shot, every innuendo of every shot. Has he hasn't got a thin clip left, has he, Jim?
Well, he does. Whether or not he's going to take it on, but it's there, very thin. We've already seen him refuse a very thin clip and opt for a bank shot. Well, that's a possibility too, but again, very low percentage. I wonder if he's trying to pull that white right over to the 3, the opposite corner.
Yeah.
He is.
Brilliant.
Well, he's happy the 3 didn't go down. What a great bank shot. Again, in two minds and just about got them both.
Played with power because the position's so easy where the red is and the pink indeed. So it was worth giving that to Welly.
And the 3 not going in there afforded him the chance to get closer to the 4, the pink 4, and now he's in prime position, Sid.
Possible plant orange 9, but I think the run through is easier, isn't it, Jim?
No, the natural angle here takes him over to the left-hand side of the table, so there's no way he's going to play that. Just got to clear the 8, and he's done that.
Stuns across.
Now,
Bit of side to open it out.
Sorry, Sid. Now he's got to be careful. What he's looking at now is the cannon onto the 9, again to clear for the 6. This is a big shot. This will either win or lose him the rack right here.
Look for the Orange going down right and see if he gets a clear path other way. Brilliant.
Not too hard, not too
Is
hard.
it? The green rolled on a little far, but maybe sunlight. He meant to clear the path for the green. He now has to think about the combination.
I'll tell you what, I think this 6 just passes. But Jim's looking at the combination. Well, now I look at it again, Sid. I don't think so now. I think he has to play the combination here. This is missable. You can see it has to be made.
And the crowd, as I said, absolutely hooked on every
He'll aim
little
that 6
flick of.
right into a cushion. He's picked his spot on the cushion that he's aiming the 6 for now. And that's a great shot. Couldn't have hit it any better. King James hanging tough right now. He's in court, and it's 3 racks apiece. Once again, the wing ball down and better control of the cue ball. This is Jim's best chance to move ahead of Boosty. Be able to follow through with this one. The 2 available bottom left.
So hitting the ball very high. Starts to take it into the rail. And that looks pretty good for the progression to the 3.
Well, we're seeing it exactly how Francisco's seeing it right now. And you don't see him edging up to get out of his seat, so what does that tell you? You can see the pink 4, top of the table. Jim would like to leave a little angle to be able to take the cue ball a little closer to that. And he's got it. This should be smooth sailing, Sid.
Yeah, he's got about a 2-foot margin of error and where he leaves this white. And they really start showing their paces when it's much narrower than that. This should be an easy run out. It's for a place in the last 16.
Lest we forget, $60,000 to the eventual winner of this. Unprecedented, unheard of in the world of 9-ball pool. $250,000 in total purse. We came from all over the world. What a field we've assembled here in Cardiff.
And with a purse like that, nobody wants to make a pig's ear of any shot at all. 4,000 American to the winner of this match.
Well, we can't see where the white's finished. He shrugged his shoulders, and there's the reason why. Far too straight. I still think he'll be able to pinch this pocket and get that cue ball. You bet, he's got a little bit of angle. He can just force that white to the near cushion. Leave the 7 in the middle pocket.
And all he has to do is to roll it up to reverse the angle on the 9. Instead, well,
don't anybody breathe. This isn't easy. Bridging right over the center pocket. That's a great shot right into the heart of the pocket. Rempe in front for the first time in this for a place in the last 16. 4-3 to King James.
comes the most amazing break in World Pool.
Yes, unless we forget, this just tempts the palate for what's to come. The whirlwind versus the Magician. And nothing down for Boosty. What a prelude to this evening's action, Sid.
Absolutely. If you think the pantomime season starts around about December the 20th, think again. We've got magicians, we've got sorcerers, we've got knight riders in this a chunk of American folklore, the pool player, translated into late 20th century sport. World champion. World Championship here in Cardiff. Unique event. How well is he up for the two? Didn't want that kiss. Oh.
Doesn't mind it. Not bad at all. You're right, Sid. Didn't intend the kiss, but he didn't kiss it thick enough to take the position away. Good open pot from Jim. Big chance this. Everything's available. That pink 4 at the top of the table. Jim's just had a look to ensure it does pass both pockets, and I believe it does. Certainly passes top right.
Sensible lass. She's got a pint. No rushing back for halves. Good thinking, Bloodwin.
You can see the orange 5. If he stops the white where the 3 is, he'll have a nice angle to just screw back and keep the white on the left-hand side as we see it for the 5 bottom right. He didn't intend the cannon on the 6. A little fortunate he can still get through to the 5. He was trying to get nice and close to that orange 5. Very similar pot to the one that he started with. A little bit more pressure because he's nearing the finish line in this rack.
Looking to pull back to 5-5.
And it looks like all he has to do here is try and get that 5 into the bottom right corner, pull the cue ball over to the left cushion with a lot of right hand English, and maintain position on the 6 to the top corner. Sounds easy. You ever missed one from the comm box before?
There he goes, loading up about as far right as he can go on the cue ball.
Might be a thinner cut than it looks, Sid. It almost looks like he'd been able to hold a cue ball, but could be thinner. He might not be able to play bottom of this, might have to play top. What about that shot? Needs it to stop.
Royal shot from King James.
Showed his experience there, table knowledge, weaving that cue ball around the back of those 2 at the bottom of the table. Still not out of the woods, though.
Just rolls up onto 7. Again, reaches for Batman.
Well, I wouldn't imagine Jim will be one of the worst rest players in the world. Have a look at that piece of equipment, though. It certainly does look a little intimidating. With a snooker background, you know he's played a lot on a 6x12.
Screws back.
Thin clip on the 8.
For the right-hand side. Wants to be within about 2 feet of the bottom cushion. 2 feet of the bottom cushion it is.
Lots to cheer about here at this one. And a long ways from finished. 5 rocks apiece, Sid. It doesn't get any better than this. Jan Verhaas, the familiar face and the watchful eye of the referee. He's been on top of things right from the outset of this 1999 Whirlpool Championship. Been a busy man. Ball down off the break. There you can see the 5 ball. But as we've seen so often, there's just no flow to the break in this match so far. Neither of these players have been able to put any racks together, as we've seen so often. It's just not happening for either one of them at the moment.
Top and a bit of right-hand side to lay a snooker, has he? Beyond the brown. Oh.
It's not as deep as he'd like it to have been, though. He didn't want Francisco to get to that side cushion, and he can. Well, how about that? You always got to get your practice in, and how about that? Jimmy White playing some of the young fans out in the outside table. Isn't that terrific? What an atmosphere here in Cardiff, and how about Jimmy? Good for him.
Aristocracy of the game here, but the democracy of the pool hall rampant. Jimmy White playing against a young lad. Only short time before taking this pitch against one of the legends, Efren Reyes.
Just a little touch. That was a good play by Bustamante. He had no choice, really. But I think he can just get through to the paint of this.
Sort of kick off the rail that Ronaldo would be proud of.
Well, not if you can get through to it, Sid. He's going to have another good look at it. If he can just clip the edge of this, that's what he's going to try. And just try and leave it in behind the pink.
So feather flick to the right as you look at it and watch where he leaves the white. Like balls on an abacus. How does Francie work out a way out of this?
Well, Francisco Bustamante is not going to be able to get in deep enough to that bottom cushion for a full contact here. He looked at making it off the 2. Cushion and the 1 off the 2 in the corner pocket. How about straight in?
Oh, amazing shot!
How about straight in? What a shot.
Well, look at the curve and spin applied to that shot. Magic.
That's one for the highlight reel, this one. The 2 is there, the 3's in the center of the table, but Francisco still got a problem. The pink 4 somehow manufactured to wedge up to the 7 ball, and at some stage that's going to have to be developed or banked. And that looks too straight. So if he does decide to attack that pink 4 ball, it's going to be by virtue of a bank, Sid. And the other option, obviously, to try and wedge that cue ball in behind the 7 and lay a real good snooker, but there's no way that he can develop it from here. He's just seeing where he can get the white to play the bank shot or the attacking safety.
So he doesn't pass. The red's totally cancelled by the contact, frozen.
He's really having a good look at it.
I think he'd have been straight into this if he thought it cleared the 6.
Wow. Of all things, that was about the last we considered. And what's more is he's given Jim a chance to open the 4 ball up. I don't think at any time did we consider that Francisco would miss that one, Sid.
No, there's no way that the green was impeding it.
Jim will be looking for a thin contact here. If he doesn't hit that 4 ball, He's in danger of snookering himself. Well, he's checking to see if he can just lay the white in there. That's just as tough as opening it up.
Fascinating game here. King James against Django Bustamante for a place in the last 16 of these World Championships.
And staying on song for the $60,000 winner's purse. And more importantly, staking claim to the title of the best 9-ball player in the world.
With that ball frozen like that, Jim, what's the best option?
He's just going to try and feather that white.
Thinnest contact you can get then. Oh. Wow!
How about that?
Well, Busty just did a brilliant shot around the line of 3 balls. Jim replies with this.
I thought he was going to lay the cue ball in behind the 7. How about that shot?
That is really advanced ballistics.
Absolutely, without hesitation.
The track of that pink.
You caught me off guard with that one, Sid. That took a lot of courage to play that shot.
Right-hand side, checking in. Couple of balls, he'll be checking out. Jim looking good for 6-5.
He's only ever been 1 frame in front, never had a bigger lead than that. Bustamante's always pegged him back. But he's in the driver's seat.
Yeah, he may not be a top of the range Chevrolet, but there's life in the old carburetor. This is the deciding rack, whoever takes it.
Had to crunch that. Look at the 9.
The 9's
Look at the 9.
rolling.
Nothing down. Nothing down. Possibility of the 1 to pot the 3, but look at the 9. Bounced off that side cushion. Any harder, Bustamante would have come up with his best break when it was needed most.
It was less than half an inch, maybe less than that, maybe a quarter of an inch from the pocket, the 9. For the match then, here goes Jim. Wants to clip the 1 ball.
Watch for the 9 here, Sid. Watch for the 9!
Well, it was on. He tried that work up by the top left to get down the bottom right.
Two-way shot, attempted the 3 and the 9, and the crowd knew it. They applaud the courage to take this one on, and so close.
The each-way bet was getting the red down if the action failed on the yellow one, and he's enjoying it. Hey, what a great attitude.
This is awesome. You can cut it out there with a knife. The tension.
Well, here we go. This is the deciding rack. And he's laid a full ball snooker.
Easy kick shot for Rempe, though. Top cushion. Looking for a full contact. He's got to put some air between these 2 balls. You'd like to be able to get right in behind it. Knock it right back up the table. This isn't easy, Sid. If this goes wrong, might be the last shot he plays in this year's World Championship.
Francie will be in like a whippet with a tin of mixed lights. This kick off the top with left-hand side could stick up, Francie.
The one's on. Bustamante has a long one ball. That was always the danger. Probably hit it as well as he could. But just a fraction of an opening here for the talented Philippine player. And my word, he's won matches with less opportunity than this. Is he going to show us a little bit of magic? Well, that will do. That will do, Sid.
Got a shot on the blow too long, and he should be on position perfectly for the red 3. The pink 4's no bother. All right, the brown's tied up with the black.
He's one of the best pressure players in the world. And right now, he's going to have to call on all that and more to survive this one.
Came on like Tommy Farr used to come on in Cardiff with a big white towel wrapped around his neck. Suffered from a touch of flu. We all know it's the greatest medicine in the world. Winning, boyo, winning.
He'll be a lot sicker if he loses this, I guarantee you. That extra night's rest.
Orange, middle, green.
Needs the right angle though, Sid, to get the left side of the table for the 7 ball. That'll do just fine. This is perfect. I fear the worst for Rempe now.
Bottom and the left-hand side to come about 6 inches below the middle bag with the white. To leave the brown 7.
To maintain that rhythmic, smooth flowing cueing action under this much pressure.
Bustamante going for the match. Still the fluent cueing and tickling into the rail for the black. Now needs to be within about a foot of the rail. A foot of the rail. It's exactly. It's 10 inches from the rail. This for the end of a classic encounter. Hasn't been vintage. There's been bits of luck. Bustamante getting the last 16 with this 9.
Down it goes, and Francisco Bustamante, the fist clenched. You never see that much emotion from him. He knows how big this one was. He survives a marathon struggle with living legend King James Rempe, and he fights on. Still one of the men to beat in the 1999 World Pool Championships.